I request everybody to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
A very good morning to all of you, and wishing you all on this auspicious day of Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Bihu and Lodi. And since we are meeting for the first time in the Gregorian calendar year, wishes for the Gregorian calendar as well. Well, when it comes to the first time, there have been quite a few first times for us this time. A last-minute cancellation of the visit and the program of the planned speaker was a situation we had never faced. And we were a bit challenged. But thanks to the immense goodwill generated by all of you, our audience, we were blessed with not one, but two eminent speakers. And that again is another first time for us. So while we hadn't publicized this, we have with us a distinguished gentleman, somebody who left a corporate career at the age of 50, and having spent his early life as a Westerner, he has dedicated himself to the learning, practice, and teaching of Vedic wisdom. Highly erudite, he has degrees in psychology, English literature, and history and comparative religions. He is a multifaceted personality with expertise in martial arts, wrestling, an astrologer, a corporate MC, a best-selling author, and an award-winning poet. In 2021, the Government of India honored him as the Indologist of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Jeffrey Armstrong, also known as Kavindra Rishi. I request Sri Panshikar of Prabodhan Mancha to felicitate him with a shal, Shrifar, book, and with tradition, also some Tirugur. Ladies and gentlemen, I am aware that you are here to listen to Anandji, but I also believe that we should not miss the opportunity of using Jeffrey's tour of India to not just honor him like we did, but also to listen to him. So Jeffrey, a full house for you. And Jeffrey has been traveling, so like he said, he caught a little bit of the Delhi throat, but I'm sure you'll enjoy listening to him. Over to you, Jeffrey.
Well, this is an unexpected and wonderful opportunity. And I have indeed lost most of my voice. Usually I'm booming and strong, but alas, it's a whisper. So I'll do my best. It's wonderful to be here with you. What an illustrious organization. As soon as I heard about you and what you're doing, what you stand for, I thought, Yakunden Dujusarahara Davalaya Subrava Stavreta Yavina Vardhana Mandita Karya Sveta Padmasana. Yeah. She is also my favorite Deva and Devi, and she is the mistress of Vak Yoga. This is Buddhi Yoga, but with an artistic flair. And then to hear that I'm juxtaposed with a speaker who is talking about how the Hindus are at the bottom of the totem pole. Considering the modern world, that's a compliment. Consider the source. Consider who's saying that. And you understand, because that means they have no discernment, no buddhi. They can't see you for what you are. If they said, oh, there's a few problems, they might be intelligent. But if they say you're at the bottom of the list, they are idiots. You're at the top of the list on so many things that I don't have time to talk about it in 15 minutes. I'm grateful to be here with you. I'm honored to be in the presence of all of you. I'd like to get to know you all. And of course, I'm Nick Nolte with a Hindu inside. I was born a born-again Christian. And now I'm a born-again and again and again and again and again Hindu. Which I prefer. Now, I know you understand this, that when you have gurus, and I've had 3, a Vedanta guru, a Jyotish guru, I'm a Jyotishi, and a Sanskrit guru, a Banaras Pandit, who had memorized the 4,000 grammatical rules of the Ashtadhyayi Panini. He was Pandita. I'm not Pandita. I know what Pandita is. You'd say something in Sanskrit, he'd say, rule number 2,221, if this, then this. This is the fruit of the Vedic culture. Now, where I'm taking us is, because I only have a little while to do this, not too long ago, I did a translation of the Bhagavad Gita called The Bhagavad Gita Comes Alive. Now, you could easily say to me, well, that's presumptuous. You who are outside the culture, making a tika, a commentary upon the Bhagavad Gita. So the first thing is, I did not make a commentary. I just translated the verses. So I did not make anything, no commentary whatsoever. But what I addressed is a problem I know you know a little bit, but I want you to really understand. I'm a linguist. From my background, I studied linguistics, I studied language as a science, and of course I knew that Sanskrit was the most perfect language. And if somebody tells you that astronomically, it was recently proven by Nilesh Oak. If you haven't looked for Nilesh Oak, look him up. He has proven recently that in the Itihasa of the Ramayana and Mahabharata, there is astronomical information that proves that those 2 texts are 7,000 and 14,000 BC. Proven. It's no longer debatable. The other thing that's not debatable is that Sanskrit is the most perfect language. It has siksha, it has, thank you, it has vyakarana, it has nirukta, it has chandas, and those are the 4 characteristics of a language that make it perfect. Sanskrit is the most perfect language on our planet. No exceptions. And again, I don't have time to go into the why, but no one can stand up to it. It is the grandmother of all languages, and I'm writing some books right now to show that in some detail, to demonstrate 2 things. So here's the bottom line. Ready? During colonization, which is where this momentum, to put you at the bottom of the pile, got started. Do you know that the Catholics were told by the Pope to go out across the world and discover a culture, any culture? Discover meant if they weren't Christians, you could enslave them, take what you want, steal everything, rape, pillage, and so on. The Pope issued a papal bull. That's what they call it. I kind of like that, because that's what it is. It's a load of bull. But the Pope said it, and everyone went out and did it, and here we are. So, here's the problem. You know why, don't you? Macaulay. I bet most of you know about Macaulay. He said, well, if we're going to dominate India properly, we have to get rid of Sanskrit as a language and replace it with English. And that's what they did. So, we have to bring Sanskrit back. But it's too difficult a language for most people, so you can't teach them Sanskrit. What we need to do is what I'm going to show you now, what we did with the Bhagavad Gita. But why the Gita? One last thing. Prasthanatrayi. There are 3 pillars of Vedantic evidence that every acharya must comment upon. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and Nimbarkacharya, any of them. In order to become acharyas and start a sampradaya, they must write a tika on 3 texts. The 10 principal Upanishads, the 550 sutras of the Vedanta Sutras of Vedavyas, and the Bhagavad Gita. Now think of those 3 texts. Which one do you think we should make the user's manual for the Hindu culture? 10 principal Upanishads? Too complicated. Vedanta Sutras of Vyas? Over everyone's head. Bhagavad Gita? Ladies and gentlemen, the one-book religions were successful because they didn't create a scattered focus. This is not the only book. This is the public relations book. This is the summary of the entire philosophy. This is the place where a summary of all that you need to know at the very core, intellectually and in terms of personal practice. To know the Gita is to never get lost again as to the purpose of the Vedas. And that's why every acharya must make a commentary on it. The Swaminarayan organization recently became a member of this club of having genuine acharyas, though they come from the Ramanuja lineage, but they added to that, made a commentary. I was present in Vancouver when their scholars came, 13 monks, delivered the talk, and officially told the world, we are now a sampradaya. But again, that's not going to help change the world view, and it's not going to help your children to know why they're Hindus. So, my proposal to you is, you need a user's manual. Now let me tell you why. During colonization, what Macaulay proposed meant that various terms, God, sin, heaven, hell, Lord, and a host of others, were used to replace the Sanskrit. God and Bhagavan are not synonyms. They do not mean the same thing. Do you know where God comes from? You'll like this. The word is hutam. It occurs 4 times in the Bhagavad Gita. When you do the Agnihotra Yajna, saying thank you for what you've received from the Devas and promising them to be ecological, then that smoke arising when you make the offering is called hutam. Hutam went to German as Gutam, to Dutch as Gut, and English as God. So actually, ladies and gentlemen, Christianity is just blowing smoke. And calling it God. But worse, they now say, and God means the same thing as Bhagavan. Excuse me. But the answer is, no, it doesn't. They are not synonyms. I call this original syntax error. Yeah, let that one go in deep. So, to put it simply, here's the formula. First, whatever text you're going to retranslate, don't make a commentary along with the text. It doesn't help. First, do the text so it's clear. Because we are not the people of a book, we are the people of a library. But that library has confused everyone. Thank you. That library has confused everyone as well. So now we need to make sure we have a single book to give them. So the secret here is, now watch this. So first, we need a group of Sanskrit scholars to get together and get to the very essence of each of the Sanskrit words that are critical, which is what? Atma, Brahman, Prakriti, Moksha. Each of those does not exist in English. There is no synonym in English. As a result, you must use that word. You can't use another word in place of it. There is no synonym for Brahman. There is no synonym for Atma. The word soul means S-O-L, the sun. And so the idea was it's bright. But Atma means a being who traveled from Brahman to Prakriti by choice, and at a certain point can decide to go back. They're not synonyms. So what we need is a committee of your best Sanskritists, of the best people at knowing English, who are favorable to the project, who get together and text by text, clean it up, get rid of Macaulay, throw the bum out. Get rid of that colonizing residue. It stinks. And it's keeping you from speaking your way. What I'm teaching you is known as taking charge of the conversation. You have not done that yet. The Vedic culture has not done that yet. They're still in the shadow of the colonial era. And that's why they call the most intelligent people in the world and most beautiful people in the world number 8 on the list. Yeah, and you're the most stupid because you don't get any part of it. That's the point. What to speak of biodiversity? Here's the secret. Wait again. How many lifetimes do we have? Only one. Doesn't that sound like a way to intimidate somebody? You only have one chance at this, and if you don't do it right, I'll send you to hell forever. Does that sound like Bhagavad talking? But Bhagavad says to Arjuna, because we're friends, I'm going to explain myself to you. So the Vedic culture is user-friendly. And this is your user's manual. So you need an English user like me who will not allow mistakes to be made in using English. Then you need a group of pundits who really know the Sanskrit so well. So they have the roots, they have the dhatu, they have everything. And now, with each text, we'll clean it up. So this is just my seva to the Hindu Vedic Sanatana Dharma culture. But I tell you, and you must know this and not know what to do about it, you're losing your children, expatriates and in the country, you're losing them because you don't have one book to use to explain 200 Sanskrit words so they know how to use those words to describe their worldview. If you don't do that, no one will know how to do it. You get interviewed and you'll use all the wrong words and nobody will know the Vedic culture because you didn't take the trouble to give them the Sanskrit words. What I do, if somebody says, well, I want to know what you do, I say, well, do I have your permission to teach you a few new words? If I do, then excellent, we can proceed and I can teach you. So, do you see it? Do you see the dilemma? Do you see the habit that you're in? Do you see that nobody sees this? Once I've told you this, listen to anyone talking about the Hindu Vedic Dharma, and you'll hear all these Christian words being used. God this, God that, sin this, blessing that. You know what blessing means? You'll like this one. It means to sprinkle with blood. So now, do Hindus give blessings? Yes or no? I'm waiting. Are you a bunch of vampires who take blood out and go, ah, ah, ah? I don't think so. So don't use the word blessing ever again. Forbidden. And each of these colonizing Christian words, when they're out of your life, your children, one at a time, you'll teach them. So we're Atmas, we came from Brahman, we chose to come here, we weren't forced. We'll choose to go back, and when we do that, it's called moksha. Where we are is called prakriti, prakriti. And here it's run by the ritam, and the ritam is the laws of nature, etc. Do you see it? Then let's do it. Because if we don't, you're going to lose them. Because you won't give them, and this is what I call it, the Hindu Vedic Sanatana Dharma user's manual. That is what Bhagavad gave. That's why it's only 701 verses, because it's not supposed to be like the Mahabharata, 100,000 verses. That's for the PhD program. This is see, spot, run. Spot is Atma, Bhagavan, Brahman, Prakriti, Moksha, etc. Gunas, doshas. You've got to teach those words or you lose control of the conversation. So what I'm really inspiring you to do is my gift back to the culture that gave me my life. And that is, do not be colonized anymore. Stand up for your culture, not with coercion, not with conversion, with friendly conversation. How's my time? We at 15? Are we there? I thought we were. All right, my favorite verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavanmam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma subdurlabha. Thank you very much.